6 things that I learned volunteering at the hospice. Hi, hello, thank you for stopping by. Real quick, let me just jump in and express my gratitude. Your comments, likes, and subscriptions really made my week. Thank you very much. You guys are just awesome. Thank you very much. Number 1, fear of death. Well, let's just jump into it. The only reason hospice exists, the only reason the end-of-life care exists, the only reason a patient and a volunteer are mad is because death exists. Whether we like it or not, the death exists. But this is one of the most avoided topic in the hospice. The thing is, if we are afraid to die, we're also afraid to live. The nature of this life is that we're all going to die. But we choose to be so afraid of death that this fear overtakes and spreads to other areas of our life. Too afraid to call, too afraid to take an opportunity, too afraid of step up, too afraid of say something. So life becomes the cemetery of opportunities. So afraid of death that we're slowly killing our life away. So from a perspective of a former nun, let me tell you that. Those stories from people, near-death experiences when they say they see the dark tunnel and the light in front of them. Well, do you know what people see in the middle stages of meditation? They see the light in front of them, because the existence without the physical body after death, or the existence in the deeper stages of meditation where we feel our body less and less, is very, very similar. So most Buddhist monks and nuns, they expose themselves to the topic of death so much that they don't afraid of dying. If we live fully, enjoying every moment without hurting ourselves and others, there is no regret, no remorse, no fear, no anxiety. And when our mind is not shaken by those things, the anxiety and worry, we can just experience the pure joy of existence. So I would suggest, in order to reduce the fear of death, we need to expose ourselves to this topic more often. We can listen to testimonies of people who had a clinical death and came back. With the development of medicine, we're saving so many people. There have incredible stories. We can listen to people who overcame grief. And we can slowly notice that people who have a very deep connection with this experience, they're not afraid of death. And they're also not afraid to live. And the opposite, people who are afraid of death are trying to avoid this topic so much, and they're scared in other areas of their life too. Number 2, vulnerability. I saw so many people who are trying to power through this rough transitioning period from being an independent adult to someone who constantly needs care and attention. They try so hard to support this image of being strong, independent, and stoic. For some reason, we really associate vulnerability with being weak. But a strong person is someone who is not afraid to expose his vulnerable parts. When we want so much to protect ourselves from being hurt from outside, hurt by others, we close ourselves in. I love this phrase. The prison is somewhere we don't want to be. How many of us don't want to be here at the job, at home, in a relationship? We close until there is no room to breathe. Sometimes we learn so much by opening our heart to all the good, to all the bad. This is why we are here on this earth. This earth has both good and bad. When we open our heart, allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we can form close relationships that really support us through this struggle, because we're never alone. We're here in the same boat, in the same ocean, struggling. Everyone is struggling around us. But there is so much heart warmth that we can share with each other. Yes, of course, when we're open, when we're vulnerable, we can experience both the most painful heartbreak and the most beautiful love. But we can equally learn from both and just enjoy the ride. Number 3, unpleasant. So many of us are so used to do whatever it takes to run away from unpleasant sensations, starting from unpleasant sounds, smells, words, experiences. And of course, we do whatever it takes to stimulate good sensations, pleasant sensations, good food, comfort, money. And if we can't get it from reality, we will get it from substances that distort reality. But let me tell you that there is a great power in our ability to just stay with unpleasant. For example, we run all our life away from anger that we really never took time to just notice what it is like to feel anger. We only can reflect back and remember about that. But if we just observe how anger makes us feel, how it changes our body, blood flow, breathing, sensations, we will learn that all those bad things are not that bad. My experience ranging from little stupid things like tickling to broken bones, to feeling of no meaning of life, and to death of beloved cat. I'm not saying that I was all of a sudden okay with my cat being killed by a car and I picked him up with a triangle-shaped head and buried him nearby. No, I was sad. But I was okay being sad. And I didn't even have to stop whatever I was doing. For example, I would wash dishes. And of course, habitually, my mind would try to run away from the reflection about whatever happened. And as soon as my mind tried to run away, the attention would bring me back. I would start crying. I would start being sad again. And this is exactly the moment when I was like, okay, sadness, 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 tears, tears. The cat is dead. The cat is... Oh yeah, the cat is dead. And other example, I broke my bone when I was walking with a dog. And of course, they gave me painkillers and I didn't like to take them because they make you feel exactly like deep meditation makes you feel, but at a cost of developing allergies, constipation, drowsiness, and looming possibility of chemical dependency. So I was a bad patient, and even though I was recommended to not use my hand on the first or second day already, I was helping Abbot to build some kind of building at our monastery. So I would come back in the room and I would experience pain in my hand because I worked it. So I would just lay down and I would direct all my attention to painful sensation. And in a few minutes, they would turn to pleasant. How cool is that? Number 4, guarding the sense doors. Have you ever witnessed someone being so preoccupied with outside world, so used to check what other people are doing, what neighbors might think? And at some point of their life, they so used to reach out outside that they don't have a chance to come back anymore. Like as if there's no one there. Our brain, our mind has a unique feature to get outside with the help of sense organs to grab the information as if digesting a food, like mental food, audio food, visual food, and we go for hunting or gathering the information. I noticed that it is so crucial for our well-being to give ourselves a time to just have a break, to sit and relax and reflect back, to give us quiet and peaceful time, to let sense organs rest. If we overexhaust ourselves whole life, at some point the mind will have to find a way to just stop these activities by forgetting everything. I speak with people who just can stare the whole day at the wall, not remembering who they are, why they're here, what were they doing before, even though you can see that they're well taken care of, the loved ones are visiting them often, sending them postcards and writing them letters, but to no avail. And it is so heartbreaking. We're constantly reaching out because there is this feeling of something's not enough. We need to get more. We need to get better to feel good. But through meditation, for example, we can learn that whatever we're reaching out outside, we have way much more in. The joy that arises when our sensual organs are resting is far beyond the sensual joy. Give yourself a pat on the back. You're doing just great. Even though it's very hard to live in this planet, you're doing good enough. Take a break. Please take a break. Number 5, accept and move on. Again, I see so many people in a state of freeze. The inability to accept the current situation literally makes us frozen in time. To accept does not mean to agree, to say, yeah, it's the right thing. To accept means to open our eyes and to see the damage. Do not run away. And then start from scratch. What else can we do? I can spend my whole life either complaining that everything is so bad, life is unfair, or I can spend my whole life elbowing everyone around because life is so unfair and I have to be first, or I can choose to just enjoy my life. And when I say enjoy, I mean to be kind and nice to myself and others. I can create a positive kind of change, and it is not a moral obligation or a chore. It's like a creation of a wonderful art piece that can be my life. Number 6, giving back. Sometimes we think that to be happy is to get good things, but I invite you to check the opposite. To be happy is to give good things. Volunteering is a great way to do that. I learned a lot. I was full of ideals starting my volunteering career. Oh, I had so many people being grumpy and angry, scolding me for my religious choices, closing their arms and telling me, I don't want to speak to you. Just because they were in a bad mood, they don't even know me, don't remember me, don't know anything about me. I learn a lot from people I'm seeing, and I learn a lot how to be with them in every condition they are. I wish all of them and all of us to be connected to the joy of life and death. Be blessed.